Yes, guys, we're back with episode 5, Beyond the Ropes, the Cam and Don Boxing Podcast. Let's go straight into it.
Yes.
How you doing,
Let's
Don,
go,
mate?
let's
You
go,
good?
let's go. It's good, mate. It's good, End of the week. Ready for the weekend. You know how it is.
Happy
Ready for
Friday,
some
mate.
boxing
Happy
next week.
Friday.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll get onto the
Jeez.
fights this weekend, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's just talking about next weekend. Do you blame them? I feel like
No.
it's going to be the biggest week of boxing in ages. And it was probably one of the best weeks of boxing ever, because you're getting two of the best fights in boxing in 1 week. One on Tuesday and one on Saturday in anyway Fulton and Spence Crawford. But my question to you
Yeah.
is, mate, which one are you looking forward to most?
I don't know, actually. You know what? They're both 50-50 for me because the Spence and Crawford one, obviously that's one of the best fights of all time. Arguably. I mean, will it live up to the hype? We don't know, obviously, but
Yeah,
considering their strengths and their weaknesses, like one guy being a southpaw and the other one being so intelligent, his boxing IQ is incredible into Crawford. But then, of course, you've got Fulton, and that fight itself, where you've got this Japanese superstar. He is a superstar. Like there's no debate about it. His power, his
yeah,
pace, his agility, everything. He's just literally like a storm, right? Like what will Fulton do against something like that? That guy's just got so much power and so much speed. How is Fulton going to cope with that? But Fulton's boxing IQ is good as
yeah,
well. So how is it? Yeah, I mean, these fights, man, they're just so interesting. They're so entertaining, and that that's what the heavyweight division lacks, right? So yeah,
yeah.
I'm really excited for this division. This division, I think, is probably the best it's been in ages. So yeah, because I saw that list
100%.
on the Twitter feed you sent me, top 10.
Yeah,
Interesting names, but yeah, I don't know if you agree with
yeah,
it. We can talk about that later, but yeah.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, Inouye and Fulton. I mean, the reason I'm more looking forward to that one is because it's first. So like a lot of
Mm,
my focus, even though there's so like we've seen like this week, obviously Crawford and Spence having like the media workouts and stuff. So obviously the buzz is kicking in, the hypes. We're getting the hype, we're getting the media stuff, getting all all the promos starting. As we gear towards fight week. But I mean, because Fulton and Inouye is on Tuesday, I'm kind of trying to focus more on that. So I'm watching more videos on that. I'm searching it up more on my Twitter, because once that's done, then we have 4 days until Spence Crawford, so I can just turn all my attention on Spence Crawford.
yeah.
So I mean, I know in the UK it's going to if it starts on Sky Sports at 9:30, and then
Mm,
the main event's not till 1. So that's kind of
it's
perfect
good
timing
timing.
because I'll be working
Yeah,
from home, and yeah, it's something different, isn't it? A lunchtime fight.
yeah.
Um,
Get your
well, I
chicken
just
wings
mean,
out. Yeah,
yeah, just get the you name it, mate. You name it. I mean, but you make a good point. I just think the question is though, and why this? How these two fights are huge? Because you could warrant, if Inouye beats Fulton, you could say that he's pound for pound number one. But then the winner of Spence and Crawford, you could say they're pound for pound number one. So it's
yeah.
such an interesting week, because
Mm,
by next Monday, the following Monday, we'll see who the top 5 pound for pound are. Because if Fulton shocks the world, he'll be top 5 pound for pound.
yeah.
So, but yeah, just we'll start with that fight. Inouye Fulton Inouye, because Fulton has the belts. I mean, it's a good point you make. Inouye, he's got so many similarities to Pacquiao. I know you said as well in the past,
Yeah.
and it's just he's the full package really. He's got the power,
He is.
he's got speed, he's got
I mean,
everything. He can box on the
he's
back foot,
unbelievable. Yeah. It's just yeah.
and it's like you said. Would Fulton be able to stay off the ropes? And what I'm really interested to see is how Fulton will be able to take Inouye's shot, because if he can take the shot, then we're in for a fight. And
Yeah, we are.
I do think he can, because I mean, I know Inouye is pound for pound one of the biggest punchers, but Fulton, he's never been dropped, and he's got that dog in him. He's from
Yeah.
Philadelphia. he just needs to be careful, and he needs to make sure he doesn't have the type of fight where he's fighting on the inside, going toe to toe, because Inoue he can hurt you to the body as well. He's a devastating body puncher. So I think for the key for Stephen Fulton to win this fight is to have a smart game plan and have one of the most disciplined performances of his career, which of course he is capable of. But I mean, what do you make of it actually happening in Japan? Because Inoue is huge in Japan, and look, Fulton's the champion. He's from America. He's got the 2 belts, but he's got the balls to go to Japan
Yeah, that's crazy.
and fight Inoue. So what do you think about
Uh,
that?
I think it's good because it's good to bring boxing to other countries, and Japan's not known. Of course, Japan's known for its martial arts, yeah, but it's not known for boxing as much. I mean, there's more precedent in terms of martial arts in Japan. There's more respect for martial arts in Japan. I mean, whereas I feel like boxing, it's kind of just coming up again, and that's actually funny enough largely to anime because there's like 2 huge anime boxing things going on, so series going on. So I think that's why people like boxing now in Japan as well. So anyway, obviously he's almost compared like to an anime boxer in some respects because he's got that the way he fights is kind of like that as well. Like like his
Yeah,
speed, his power. He can fight on the rope as well. He mate yeah. So Fulton, yeah, Fulton, he's a good fighter as well. So yeah, I mean it's interesting that he is going to Japan because the fight should traditionally happen in America because he's got the belts.
that's the thing.
But maybe he feels like he can generate a lot of money by going to Japan as well.
That's
So
what I'm thinking.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, credit to him because he probably knows the fight will be a lot bigger. I mean, don't get me wrong, like you said, yeah, it'll be big in America, but he probably thinks, look, I knew it's probably a star, like Joshua is in the UK, like Fury is in the UK.
Mm,
You know, like how Spence is in the US, you know. He probably knows, yeah, I knew he's a star in Japan, and that will be a bigger fight in Japan because of the fans there. You know, I've seen like posters everywhere in like the metro, subway stations,
yeah.
you know, and buildings. And probably also, I know he probably didn't predict the timing of the fight, but I mean, if it was in America right now, I mean, in America, the hype's all about Spence Crawford, isn't it? So I think in Japan, it's like a whole other world there. It's a huge country, isn't it? So, mate, yeah, he's got a lot of balls. But yeah, I'm super excited for this fight. You got a prediction? Early prediction?
I think anyway, I just feel like he has the edge. It's just his power is incredible. If Fulton can take his punches, you're right. Then of course I think Fulton could take it to the wire. But anyway, he's just got I don't know, man. He's just incredible to watch. So I'm gonna say him like round 5. Um, I don't know what
Round
you
five.
think. Yeah.
Jesus
I think he's
Christ.
just gonna. I think he's gonna because he's in his home country. He's gonna have that adrenaline rush. He's gonna have the advantage there as well. So he wants to prove something as well. So I think obviously Japan taking on America, that's huge as well. Considering everything that's all their rivalry beforehand as well with America and Japan. So yeah, the fight itself it's gonna be amazing. But I think it's Inoue, bro. I mean, I don't know what you think.
I mean, I don't blame you for thinking that. Like, Inoue, look, he's a 24-0, 21 knockouts. He's beaten the likes of Denier twice, Rodriguez, Narvaez, 19-0 in world title fight. So that's another thing that a lot of people aren't speaking about. Look at the
Mm,
experience in world title fights. He's a former 3 division world champion. He's former undisputed compared to Fulton. Obviously, one great thing about Fulton is okay. He seems a bit less experienced at the world championship level because he's only 3-0 in world title fights, but that's only because he's become champion. Not as he hasn't been champion as long as Inoue, but he's
mm.
probably got some amazing wins. Like he's beaten back to back undefeated fighters. You know, Roman, Figueroa, Leo. Um, he's not a knockout puncher. He's only got 8 knockouts out of his 21 fights,
No, it's
but
very more tactical. Yeah.
he's very more tactical. But he can bite down. But I know what you mean. I mean, for me, I think if Inoue beats him inside 5 rounds, I mean, Vinny's the best fighter in the world. But I think
Yeah.
that's you never know. Inoue is great, but I think it's going to be a points win. I think Fulton. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think obviously Inoue does have the edge, but I'm going with Fulton. I think a split decision, points
Oh,
win.
yeah.
Yeah, I think a points win. I think he's gonna.
You know me,
I
mate. I
think
always
he's.
want the knockout, so.
No, I don't blame you, but
But yeah, points win is probably more respectable answer.
I mean, yeah. Let's see what everyone else is saying. I mean,
It's hard to predict, though, isn't it? Really. I mean, usually some fights you can see what's going to happen, so it's easier to predict. But this one, both these fights actually, this one and the Crawford and Spence one, that's also hard to predict. So which makes it a more interesting week because it's not like any clear cut winners. So yeah.
yeah, 100%. I totally agree with you. But yeah, I guess moving on to Spence Crawford, which is no doubtably the bigger fight. Oh, what are you saying about Spence Crawford? You see the media workouts are
Yeah, man.
both
But like, remember we
looking.
were talking about last week how they respect each other, and it's not like they don't even have to build up for this fight because I think all boxing fans will watch this fight, and yeah, the media coverage, it's good, but it's nowhere near promoted as like other fights have been. I think. Um,
Like what?
no, I mean the promotions like it's ramping up, but of course like I thought there'd be even more marketing and stuff for it, but I guess it's enough.
I mean, yeah, I guess
Yeah,
hard one. I think I don't know. I just feel it's probably the fight for the hardcore boxing fans.
yeah,
Because they don't. Jesus, he's in shape.
Jesus
He's just
Christ.
smashing the boxing bag, isn't he?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think the hype's there. I just think. I think it's because they're not like. It might not be going to like the pub, like the mainstream
Mm.
media or like the casual, because they're not trash talking each other,
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of
and
respect between them.
yeah, and they're not the type of guys to talk like trash and stuff. Whereas like Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia talking,
Yeah,
speaking,
yeah,
talking to the devil. Here he is. He was there
yeah,
yesterday, as he's obviously in. He's with he's in the same team. Obviously, with the same trainer. Um, but yeah, I think that's probably just why. I think it's. I think yeah, Spence Crawford. Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. Really, it's a hardcore boxing fans fight. It's the dream fight for us. Um, I mean, this is interesting. I was reading this article. Um, I do think, yeah, the winner of this fight will be the best fighter in boxing. But it's hard if Inoue wins, then it's hard. It's hard to kind of claim that because Inoue could say the same thing. He'll be a four
mm,
division world champion. But
that's
I
true.
mean, look, whoever wins this fight will be the first undisputed welterweight champion, I think, ever in the four belt era.
That's crazy.
Um, so that's why there's so much hype to
Crazy.
this fight as well. Obviously,
Yeah,
like, because you're trying
one
to
of the greatest
picture
fighters of all
who.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, and you're just trying to picture like you can't really picture both of them losing, and that's
yeah,
why we
that's
need
what.
more.
Yeah,
Do you get what I mean?
yeah. No, I get what you
What are you
mean,
gonna say?
and yeah, and sorry, I'm speaking over you. Go on.
No, no, go on.
No. So yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, you can't see either. It's like usually with fights you can see, one person may struggle or whatever. But in this fight, I mean, their styles are different, but they're both so good at their own styles. It's yeah, you just can't see who's gonna lose. I mean, it could be a draw, Like honestly, like if
Some
it could
people are
go to points,
predicting.
like I don't know.
Some people are predicting that though. They are saying
Yeah,
that it could be a draw, like because they're that well matched up.
yeah,
Obviously, like because if you think about it, if it really depends. Like they look, they've both got chins. They've both never been knocked down. They've both got power. I'm just interested to see this like how the first 6 rounds are because I wouldn't rule out it being starting quick. Errol Spence bringing the
yeah.
pressure. You know, picking the pace, like dictating the pace, and you know bringing Crawford into a dogfight. But then Crawford's smart. He's got a good
He's
ring
so
IQ,
smart.
so
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing. But then at the end of the day, a fight like this of this magnitude at this elite level, sometimes it's about the mental toughness, you know, and that's what
Yeah,
Spence's trainer is saying. He's saying whoever it's about the mental toughness. Spence has that mental edge, that mental toughness, you know,
yeah,
that mental strength to beat him when it gets dark in there. When
yeah.
someone needs to, you know, dig deep. Obviously, he's back in Spence to be able
He's got
to
it. Yeah,
come out on top. But look, he's saying that I've got every tool to beat Crawford. It's the only fight I
yeah,
wanted. I'll give him that. Look, that is the fight he's always wanted. Like, well, I'll give credit to credit. I'll give credit to Spence here because you got to respect someone who, well, like I said, he didn't fight. He hasn't fought since April last year,
yeah,
and he rejected any other fight in that meantime, in that time between then and now,
yeah.
like a warm up fight or a fight against Keith Thurman or someone, because he said the only fight I want is Terence Crawford.
But yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, do you
He's
think that's a
got
mistake though, not to have a warm up fight? Or
no, because at the end of the day, if you had a warm up fight, this fight might not have happened. So
mm,
we go. It might be a warm
yeah,
up. It might be a mistake in terms of obviously him being rusty for or him in his preparation for this fight against
yeah.
Crawford is not smart. But at the end of the day, if that's what it took to make the fight, then hats
Then
off
you
to
have to
you.
do it. Yeah,
And
yeah,
hats off
yeah,
to you because obviously
yeah,
if he did take those fights, his promoters, Al Heyman, etc., they'll think, oh no, that's fine. We can keep feeding him to other guys. He don't mind.
yeah,
Easier money
yeah,
for Spence. But when the fighter's saying no, I'm not fighting until it's Crawford, they're
yeah.
gonna bloody hell, we have no choice. We have to make that fight. So would my question I'd say the fight might not have happened then if Crawford didn't say that. So if Spence didn't do that.
Yeah, that's
That,
true.
that's saying it straight. It's like saying, "Oh, I'm not working until this." It's like a strike, kind of to an extent. It's like the strikes that are happening, the train strikes and stuff. It's not to that
Yeah,
extent, but it kind of is. Like if he's saying he's not fighting until that fight's made,
yeah.
he meant it.
He
You
meant
know,
it 100%. Yeah,
they're trying to make the Spence Furman fight. It would still be an interesting fight, but he's saying no. You know, Crawford had a fight in
yeah.
December, whilst. So hats off to it, mate. He made the fight, and
And of course, he's prepped for it. I mean, having that much time off, and him knowing this is the only fight he wanted, his
yeah,
preparation for it must have been immense. You know, so
exactly.
yeah, he's ready.
Exactly.
He is ready. He must be ready.
100% he's ready. Um, but yeah, just a quick one on the upcoming fights this weekend. So interesting. Look, this is a main article here. But before we'll go into so George Kambosos Jr. obviously coming off two losses to Devin Haney. I mean, it's good to see him back. George Kambosos Jr. will be fighting Maxi Hughes from the UK, so UK Southpaw. Will be live on Top Rank. So for us, so ESPN in the States, and obviously it'll be on Sky Sports for us, early hours, Sunday morning. So I'll be watching that. It's in Oklahoma. It'll be in the lightweight division again, so same division as Haney, Tank, all these fighters that we speak about. And I mean, look, it's an interesting fight. It'll be good to see, you know, George Kambosos back. He obviously had that shot. He was on top of the world when he beat Teofimo Lopez. But obviously, back-to-back defeats against Devin Haney, you know, he lost a bit of credibility, you know, especially when a lot of people thought he would give Devin Haney a great fight. But I think, look, he's got a great attitude. He's someone who's willing to make all the big fights. Like, which fighter do you know who wins all the belts, and then in his first fight fights Devin Haney? You know,
Yeah,
like undefeated, one of the
David Haney
hottest.
is just unbelievable. So there's no shame in losing to David Haney. Uh,
It's Devin,
huh?
Devin
Oh,
Haney, not
Devin. I call
David.
him David. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's cut that bit
Cheeky
out.
fucker. No, not cutting it out. It's funny. It's like when you said, "Oh, Eddie Hearn, David Hearn." What's it with you and Devin, bro? It's right in front of you. Look, Devin.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah, yeah. No, it just
just
blurred.
go
Your screen blurred there. To be honest, it's okay.
You can see it now, innit?
You can see it now. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight. Look, Maxi Hughes he's the IBO world champion. He's not a power puncher. Only 5 knockouts. He's lost 2. But I mean, look, his game. Look, he's coming off a win against Kid Galahad, upset. He's got some good wins, and I don't know. It'll be an interesting fight. Look, this will really show what level George Kambosos is at, because if he dismantles, you know, if he dismantles Maxi Hughes, it shows he is, you know, still top 5, one of the best fighters in the
Yeah.
weight in the weight division, and that he should still, you know, there still are, you know, interesting matchups for him against the likes of Tank, Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda, Isaac Pitbull Cruz. So, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think Kambosos was it just a fluke? Is he really that good? Like, or was he more of like a fringe world level fighter just outside the top 10? I think that's harsh. I do think he's obviously a top
I think
10
that's harsh. Yeah, I think
lightweight,
he's top 10.
because still for you to beat, you know, Tio and stuff, I think
Yeah.
you got to be world level, you know.
Yeah. He's
But I
definitely not a
mean,
fringe
look,
fighter. Yeah.
no, 100%. But I think, look, obviously Teofimo Lopez, obviously he's not retiring, and there's a lot of big fights for him at 140. But I do think Louis DeBella's right. Like, at some point, we've got to see that rematch, because
Hmm.
everyone says it. That's why everyone thinks he just had everyone thinks it was like a Buster Douglas moment. I think everyone knows. I think for me, Lopez beats Kambosos 99 times out of 100, and Kambosos just had a wonderful night. And more, Tio was just fighting like an absolute idiot. No game plan. Just tried
Yeah.
to knock him out in a round. You can't be doing that. You can't
Yeah.
be doing that. But oh mate, that would be a juicy, you know,
Yeah.
rematch
It
at some
needs to
point.
happen, right? Yeah.
I think Lopez beats him 99 times out of 100 times. I think it'll sell well. Both are on top rank. Tio undefeated. Sorry, not undefeated. Obviously 140-pound champion now. Top 10 pound for pound. And I think it'll be good to see him avenge his loss. And then people won't be slating Tio for losing against Kambosos. So I mean, in the near future, I think within the next 2 years, I think that fight needs to happen, especially with it on. I mean, I wouldn't even mind it next if Tio wanted a voluntary defense against Kambosos if that was to happen. But there's just too many big fights for Tio at the moment. There's obviously Devin Haney, there's Pro Gray, there's the other champions, there's, you know, even like the Tank Davis. And if Tio's talking about money and not getting as much as he wants in terms of the paydays, he needs obviously the bigger fights then, you know. But that's cool. Moving on to actually, I just want to say a quick one as well on Frank Martin's performance, because I haven't really spoke about that. I mean, a lot of people are slating it. Obviously, I didn't get to watch the fight live because obviously UK don't show the PBC cards. But I think with Frank Martin, it's hard. Obviously, look, he hasn't had much of an amateur background. I think obviously people react. It was a close fight last weekend against Haratunian. He obviously got the he got the lockdown. What do I think about him going forward? I still think he's in a conversation and he can still fight the likes of Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, etc. But I just think maybe he needs one more fight. I think it's a lot to do with the style as well. I think it shows his strengths are being aggressive and, you know, fighting on the inside, going toe to toe. Don't get me wrong, he does have boxing skills and he is a great boxer considering he started boxing at like 18. But I think, I mean, let's see. Yeah, I think Frank Martin against maybe a Kambosos if he wins this weekend. You know, maybe against a William Zepeda. I think it'll be a great fight. So yeah, that's just that on Frank Martin last weekend. But yeah, moving on to have you seen Chris Eubank Jr.? It's been confirmed. So Chris Eubank Jr.
Crazy. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Eubank
I
are
guess
fighting
he's
now.
got to do what he's got to do, right? I mean, he can't wait forever.
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Let's bring it up here. Is it Smith Eubank 2 or Eubank 2? Yeah, I mean, look, obviously Chris Eubank Jr., no one expected him to get knocked out against Liam Smith about 6 months ago. But I think the most interesting thing about this is, of course, yeah, people want to see if people will be interested because they want to see if Eubank can actually avenge the defeat. But what the funniest thing about this fight happening is what's going on with Conor Benn, because obviously for Chris Eubank Jr., obviously you knew he wanted to fight Conor Benn.
Yeah, that's the
But then
fight.
for this to get announced, obviously it kind of shows that Well, people are speaking on the space. People think Conor Benn's definitely got a ban now, but they're just keeping it quiet, and they might not say anything, and they'll just maybe just mention it in a couple of months, just to, so there's no hype around it, or there's no, you know. What do you think, mate, about all this?
Mate, I think Conor Benn obviously has a ban, right? Like, otherwise, why else would no one even talk about it? Because there was so much talk about it initially, and now it's just been swept under the rug.
That's the thing.
And Eubank obviously announcing this fight, it's just a good way just to sidestep it, almost sidestep the conversation completely. So yeah, this
Literally,
is what's happened, right? So yeah, I mean, it's just probably they probably all had a conversation together, just to say, listen, let take some pressure off me. You basically, and he's probably like, listen, I need to fight, so this makes the most sense for me as well for my next fight. So I
who
don't know when
Eubank?
that, yeah, Eubank. So I don't know when that Conor Benn fight would even happen, if it would happen. So
Well, it won't now, innit? If he's
yeah,
got a ban,
yeah, I don't know
it's
how
kind
long the
of
ban will be for as well. So
maybe like 2 years.
yeah, man, which is
And
basically almost at the end
it
of
should
his
be though. Yeah,
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 it should
but
be end of his career. Yeah,
well, it's going to be a big blow to him
arguably.
because it's
Yeah.
2 years out of his prime years.
How
But
old
I
is he
mean,
now?
I think he's 26.
Damn, man, you're losing your
Conor
prime years.
Benn,
That's
he's
not good.
26. 28th of September 2027. So yeah, um, it's not great, but I mean, forget about Conor Benn. I mean, I hope he gets banned if he's guilty. Look, that's what should happen,
Oh,
you know.
100%. Yeah, you can't do
Like
stuff
what?
like that.
Yeah, literally. But what do you make of this fight?
Unbelievable.
Can you see Chris Eubank Jr. avenging that defeat, or do you think they're just
It
levels for this?
depends
Obviously,
on
Liam Smith.
you backing even who he turns up, right? His mentality, like that's what even his dad was saying. So, like it literally depends on what he's like. If he's prepped, obviously, ever since I saw him fight like years ago, I thought he would have a better career than the one that he's had. But I think
Yeah,
the lifestyle, all of that has influenced his career as well, and it hasn't helped him. Of course, he's had tragedies in his life as well. But yeah, it depends on what sort of person turns up on the day, really. With
yeah,
him
and I think
especially.
it's. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's that, and it's Oh damn, is it at the O2? No, it's in No, I thought it's in Manchester. Don't know what this tweet is. When was this?
At the O2 September 2nd.
No, it's not at the O2.
No.
It's in Manchester. Otherwise, yeah, I'd go to that maybe. Actually, no, I'm going to be in Canada. But yeah, you're right. It's. I don't know. I just feel like it's a shame because a lot of us expected Eubank Jr. to beat Liam Smith, but I don't know whether he underestimated Liam Smith or what. But at the end of it, it just shows the levels. Like Liam Smith, former
Yeah.
world champion, he's got a stacked resume, and Eubank Jr. He got absolutely destroyed. So it just once again proved that look, as soon as Eubank Jr. steps up, he loses. He lost
Yeah.
against George Groves, he lost against Billy Joe Saunders, and now he lost against Liam Smith. Like, thank God he didn't, sign to
He hasn't
fight
got the
Triple
balls,
G.
mate, I think. Yeah. He just hasn't got the chops, the balls, whatever you want to call it. It's just not there. I don't know.
For me, it's just a skill. I think he's a tough. He's got the balls. He's got a chin. Will fight anyone. But I just think there's having a dog in you, but then there's being
True. Skill as well.
skilled because the skills pay the bills. I don't think
Yeah.
he's
Skill
got
payments.
the. I don't think he's got the. I don't think he's got the ring IQ or
Oh no, he hasn't. Yeah.
levels. Well, I don't think he's got that world level ability. I think his ability is probably limited. So I think that's what it is. But I mean, look, it'll be interesting to see September 2nd. Obviously, Sky put it on box office. I mean, I think it needs. It would have been a good fight just to put on Sky Sports. But I mean, let's see
Yeah.
let's see what they put on the undercard because obviously the undercard needs to be good to warrant. You
Yeah.
purchasing the pay-per-view, right?
Of course, man. It's weird how Sky do that though. But of course, Sky want to make as much money as they can from any fight. So
Yeah, 100%. But sweet man, I think that's everything for this week and this episode. But guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, like the video, start watching this. This is out. Beyond the Ropes is out every Friday. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, C2B Campbell's Boxing. Check out Don's channels in the description below, and check out our other podcasts all about it. We talk about all topics, Marvel. What else, Don?
Man United, anything really. All about it, right? We talk about anything. So anything goes. Every
Every
Wednesday,
Wednesday,
man. Yeah.
4 p.m.
4
Yeah.
p.m. Yes, my guy. Yeah.
Sweet. But we might have to do a little special pod early next week before the
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually.
fights. But let's see what the schedule's
Maybe a
looking
little
like.
short or
But
something. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, guys, we'll be out, and we'll catch you next week.
Have a good weekend, man. Take care. Bye bye. Peace.
You too.
I can't even pronounce her name. Talking numbers on the phone while I'm getting brains. Switch 4 lanes, I'm in my own lane. You can catch me riding.